Hello! Welcome back to the inn. How's everybody doing? Thumbs up.
As always.
As always.
Yay.
Delightful. Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us. Today, we're doing some TTRPG, Tales of Andrea. I'm your DM, and I'm followed by these wonderful individuals, the explorers of Andrea themselves. We have them in a bit of a fun situation, but first, some announcements. This week, we have... I had to think about what announcements do we have. There's a few. Yep, this week we've got our normal lineup of things to pay attention to our socials. Lily will be a dear and post that up. All our socials, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. Go like and subscribe and follow all those wonderful things. While you're at it, you can also click just down there to do the same for this channel. Thank you. Other than that, Sirenscape, as usual, a wonderful online platform you can use if you're at the table or meeting digitally. We ourselves meet digitally, so we all have the wonderful platform drawn up on our side, and it frees up some other platforms to relax a little and be fine with what's going on. I don't think I have anything else. So, well, we saw some last-minute technical difficulties. Let's go to the intro song. Why don't we do that? Yeah.
It is open, my friends. Battles have yet to begin. Laughter we had in gales and floods, but if not, at least there will be blood. The sorrow and loss may abound. We'll do our best to hold this hallowed ground.
And we're back. Welcome back, hello. Little couple of things solved and resolved. There it is. But Last time on the Wonderful Tales of Andrea, we left our party off. See, there it is. The wonderful joys of not having good audio situations. I had to just situate myself like this for a bit. The party finally arrived in the Shallos estate. They encountered a few individuals on there, a potentially sticky situation being averted by Wisp strategically casting Suggestion, and Prologue hearing a fantastic tale about some fellow who has tattoos. They handed off Paraspatus's body to Admiral Vuja, are currently waiting in the Shallows for the ship to be restocked and resupplied, when they were witness to the, what's his name, Sabdras, arriving back in town from Lithrom, finally getting back in his very heavily damaged war vessel. They were unable to go speak to him, however, because Dania, Nuthrot, his right hand, who had encountered a friend, saw them, sequestered them, and brought them aside to an empty building. From there, she issued them a warning saying they should leave as soon as possible. It is no longer safe for their kind, revealing she can also do magic, and urging them to take the individual with them, or with her, with them. So, to start us off for the week, Ben, why don't you describe your character?
Hello. My name is Ben. My character is Jartis Clinwalk. He is a male satyr. He is of the Druid persuasion. So I guess this guy is of the Shallos estate. There's been some contention early on in his life around whether he was sold into an apprenticeship or whether he volunteered for said apprenticeship. So that's kind of an interesting part there. But he was so young, it's like maybe it doesn't really matter that much to him. So he is aware of Fae and their existence and all that. So he's fascinated with that. So
Focus more on the physical description.
Physical description. He's a
less personal.
pretty homely looking guy. Very slightly regal. He's got a nice little green cape. Decently well kempt, not like wildly out of control facial hair, but he's a fuzzy little guy for sure. So he's pretty short. Not a very tall guy, I would say. I think he's about 4'11", so he's a pretty short little guy. But his demeanor is not very aggressive, so his body language is kind of reserved, and probably wouldn't notice him right off the bat.
However, in this case, you definitely do notice him right off the bat, as it is just the 7 of you. 6 of you. No, not even 6 of you. That's right, Nubasai's not there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 of you standing inside that room. You are muted.
Who was muted?
I think Abarat just said something.
No, I didn't actually.
Oh, looked like you did.
Well, from last week, I am currently standing with my hands on my knees, and I'm just kind of like,
Breathing
because I'm having a moment.
Yep. Still recovering.
Little panic attack over here, guys.
So the second command just asked us to take this satyr with us. That's what just happened.
Urging. She's more urging when you leave to help those who can cast magic as best you can, and that one in particular.
Okay. What is the threat?
I'm not sure just yet. I just don't trust any of it.
That does not make any sense.
I wouldn't expect it to make sense for someone who takes everything so literally. Sometimes a gut feeling is needed to be followed, Prologue.
What do you know about this satyr?
Jartus, I'll let you speak for yourself.
What say me of said satyr, which is me?
That would be what he
Is that the
asked.
question?
Yeah.
Okay. I be here looking for not necessarily anything specific, but I do have a pretty good lead on something that is of particular interest to me. I was quite
Stop.
persuasively urged. Yes, sir.
Let me rephrase. Why should I care about you?
Because you're such a kind and gentle soul, sir. I assume that you would care about being such as myself, even if I didn't provide a great reason. Am I providing you a horrible reason not to?
You have heard incorrectly about my reputation.
I have heard nothing of the sort, sir.
Why should I bring you with me?
My utility is vast, and my philosophical pragmatism, I think, would be quite beneficial for your group.
He's good with his hands and he knows how to talk to people. You need a friendly face on your group.
Yeah.
Anubisai is very friendly.
Anubisai is not here.
I was pointing back the way that we.
Might I ask, sir, if there is a friendliness quotient that you are trying not to surpass? If not, I don't see any harm in adding more friendliness to a group dynamic.
What are your goals?
My goals are such that I may gain more knowledge on ancient civilizations that are deep and dear to me. I have no nefarious intentions, if that's what you're asking, sir.
That is not what I'm asking. The question is, if you are to come with me, then you must be counted upon to do as commanded. Can you be counted?
As what you command is right and just.
At this point, Prologue will turn to Yolandriel and say, do you have any thoughts? Fair enough.
For those who can't see, he just gave the thumbs up.
Gartis, is it?
Jartus, sir.
Jartus.
Gartus is my father's name.
Well, Jartus, as long as you follow my commands, you may come. If you do not, you will be let loose.
I see that within reason. That is agreeable.
Very good.
A little bit let loose over here, a little bit let loose over there.
Very well. This is Yolandriel. That is Aberrat.
Mighty fine crew.
There's one thing you should know. Are you aware of the creed
The creed.
of
Enlighten.
3, 2, 1?
At this point, you hear Danya spin on her heels and go, "Oh, by the gods!" Find a seat and sit down.
Prologue explains the bare bones of the creed to Jartis and says, if you do not cross these, it should not be an issue.
I see no issue with said creed, sir. I feel it is the adhering force that you so intend it to be.
Very good. Now, I must speak to the Dragonborn.
Right, oh yes, back onto that. Dragonborn. You mean Sabdras by that. I do believe, at the very least.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, he just got here. There's no way I can arrange a meeting for you as if current. But yeah, I probably can within the next 24 hours. But seriously, I don't think you should be staying here for more than 24 hours. It is going to be... Well, I just... She looks at you, Yolandriel. Perhaps you might more understand what I mean by it is going to be dangerous in this place very soon.
And I look at her and like my ears are ringing, and I'm like, yeah, it's gonna get dangerous from here on out. For a while, I say.
Very well. Prologue leaves and signals the others to follow and goes back the way he came and looks for any sign of Anubicide. Does he see any such sign?
While you're about to leave, she looks at me. So wait, you're not going to wait for me to... You're not going to agree on any time? You're not going to tell me when I can arrange for a time for you to meet Sabdras? You're just going to walk out and leave? I won't find you.
Prologue never stopped.
Okay.
I haven't moved. I'm about to like sit down and stay down for a while.
Okay, does anyone follow Prologue?
Abrat will follow, bro. He hasn't really been paying too much attention to what everyone's been talking about, so he's going to start continuing to follow Prologue.
I think Jartis is gonna kind of unassumingly mingle where he's at.
She looks over at you, Jartis, and says, "Why don't you follow him? Make sure he doesn't get into any trouble."
Him trouble? Okay. Maybe. I'm not sure if adding me is gonna reduce the likelihood of.
Everyone likes you here, Jartis.
All right, I'll do it. So I follow Prologue.
Wisp also hurriedly goes after you, going, he might need more assistance from myself. And following after, and Sabra is, well, this is a conversation that I don't need to be part of. I think I'll go find some things to do for my ship. Good luck. She leaves as well. And as they are gone, Danya walks over, closes the door, looks at you, Landriel, and says, "On your feet," and then looks over at the wall. "I know you're there, so why don't you step out?"
Well, I get to my feet, and my ears are still ringing, so I can only like half hear things.
I step out and uncloak myself.
What do they see before you? Fine Storm, why don't you describe yourself?
They see that a tabaxi monk, panther style, or panther species, subspecies, pure black. The monk bindings and everything are also black. Eyes are blue. No other visible weapons or items being carried.
I think to myself,
do,
this is
have
gonna
a
be
cloak.
a mid-max character.
She steps up to the table. "You heard the whole thing," takes a seat. "What do you make of it?" Starts picking at her nails with a dagger.
This one has no opinion on what one has heard.
I see. Well, every life has a purpose.
And every purpose must be given a chance.
Embeds the dagger in the table, looks at you, Landriel, and "Your leader's a bit rash."
She can see sweat on my temples as the panic attack begins to like recede, and I'm like gripping the edge of the table, and I just like nod my head.
At the very least, Jartis was able to get some safe passage at least. Elandriel, you're the only person who actually has the patience to hear. And now that I know that," she looks over at the black tabaxi, "that we're not within bad ears, I'm more inclined to talk to you. If you can get your Loxodon leader back, I'd be willing to discuss."
Can't we just discuss this?
Give me a persuasion check.
All right, folks. Here we go with that -1 stat. Go. My dice is lost. Oh. 10.
10.
Mm-hmm.
Given the impression Prologue left on her, 10's going to be good enough.
Oh, boys. Good stuff.
Did you see the armor that Sabras is wearing? How damaged it was? Broken.
I nod my head whether or not I did or not.
We lost that fight. I don't know what it was he was fighting, but it completely enveloped his entire body and began to crush him. For some reason, it let go. I've been in plenty of fights. I've been in plenty of places. I don't trust that. I don't know what happened, but you and I both know there are magics to talk to people without being observed from it.
Yeah. What about it?
I'm just making a point. What assumptions or conclusions you draw from it is your own choice. I'm only here to share the knowledge. She looks over at the black tabaxi. Knowledge that is deserved to be known.
Okay, my eyes are gonna
He just nods.
my eyes are gonna like move around as I process, and I just say, "Okay, I'll work on it."
He won't immediately initiate anything, but there is knowledge that I will not share with you. That makes me worried for those who can cast magic in this place. Take a careful look around you when you're walking through the streets. There's a smile that creeps underneath the mask that you barely see. I think you'll be surprised by what you see. If it weren't what is to come, she stands up, walks to the door. It is really quite a beautiful place. It won't be any more. Then leaves.
Okay, I'm gonna look at the tabaxi, and I'm just gonna say, as my first thing to say to this character, nothing surprises me anymore. This isn't the first time. And then,
May this one accompany you?
as I'm like walking away, I just turn around and I say, "Sure, well, couldn't hurt." And then I leave.
I follow.
Alright. Okay. So, moving back to the other three who left before all of that happened. Let's see, let's get us on to this one. When you leave Prologue and you start looking around, looking for your friend Anubisai, give me a perception check. Unfortunately, you won't be able to use your nose on this one as Anubisai has no scent.
That is a natty 20.
Oh my goodness.
When he needs it, folks.
He gets it. Okay, with that, you look downhill, because everything's downhill from this point. Looking towards the port side area, you see one of the ports, the dock going out, stretching all the way at the tip edge, has an unusual crowd of about 20 people standing at the edge of it, looking at the water.
But no sign of Anubisai.
No sign of Anubisai.
Okay. Prologue will look behind him to make sure the newcomer was following orders and sees Abarat and Jartis and no one else at this point. Is that true?
Jartis following after, just Abarat is immediately behind you. Jartis
Actually,
is
I would be right next to Jartis.
following close behind.
Okay. But Yolandriel's still in the
The laundry's still in the building, yes.
Prologue harumps, turns around, goes back to the building to get Yolandriel. Whenever he finds Yolandriel, he will say, "Are you broken? Do you need to be carried?"
So before you get there, it's a little ways off from the main road when you're walking back. By the time you're getting back to the building where they are, you see coming out Danya, who looks up at you and, "Do what you will, I've given my warning." And then walks off towards going a little uphill. By a little uphill, I mean it's uphill and then side alley.
Prologue doesn't respond to that. Keeps going to get Yolandriel.
Okay. And just inside, you open up the door to see Yolandriel standing next to a black tabaxi.
Yolandriel, is there a problem?
No, this is what's your name?
This one is called Finestorm.
Fine, Storm. Nice to meet you. And I extend my hand.
I copy the maneuver.
I close the distance and then grasp your hand and then shake it up and down and I say, mine's Yolandriel.
Fine, Storm. I am Prologue. Mm-hmm.
I turn to Prologue and kneel. Yes, most holy one.
I say out loud, oh, by the gods.
Are you a follower of the Creed?
My monastic order follows the creed. But I am unholy. But this one is unholy. Searching to be holy. Searching for the glory. But have not found any yet. Holy one.
Have you come to join me?
If the Holy One will have this one, I would appreciate the tutorage.
I welcome another member of the Creed.
Thank you, Holy One.
Now, there was a commotion down by the water. It must be investigated. Yolandriel, are you fit?
I'm gonna say yes, and I think I've got a plan. You still have that ring, right?
Yes.
Okay. We need to find a way to send a message that way. And just talk with the Dragonborn. And then leave. It's gonna be the safest way to go about this.
The ring only speaks to the king.
Yeah. We're gonna have to find a magical way to do that.
Right about that point, Prologue, you get a voice inside your head. Derek Durden here. For Prologue. Message from the king. Be asleep by sundown. There is to be a conference call. What's a conference call? Seriously, you just can't...
Prologue turns to Yolandriel and says, word has been given. The king will speak to me tonight. And Prologue points at his head.
Okay, then I say, then I'll look into how we're gonna speak to this Dragonborn.
Very well. First, the water, then the Dragonborn. Then Prologue will turn and start jogging down to whatever that commotion was.
Okay, who follows?
I'm gonna look down at Jardis, and I'm gonna say, Jardis, right?
Yes.
I'm gonna shake your hand and say, Yolandriel, do me a favor, kill me now. And then I'm gonna turn and start jogging after Prologue.
I, too, start jogging.
With vicious intent to kill him.
Vicious intent with malice.
I'm only following orders.
Same. Straight from the kneel to a jog.
As soon as
extras.
the tabaxi comes running out of the building, Abrad's gonna be like, huh. And then he will follow.
As
Okay.
we're running, I'm definitely looking around. And I'm also thinking in my head, well, this is going to bring us a lot of attention.
Okay, yeah. I mean, with that, give me a perception check.
Passive.
No, it is my passive, actually. It's 16. I rolled a 10.
Well, basically, anything I described to you all, Finestorm will also be knowing, because their passive is ridiculous. 26.
It's
So.
four higher than mine.
Yeah, so it's higher. So, yeah, you're right. You're running down the streets running like this, especially Prologue, running down, even with just a jaunt or a jog, he's still bigger than almost everyone around. Very large race, no other Loxodon standing around or anything. Running down, grabbing a lot of attention, people are having to kind of jump out of the way as he's getting towards and closer to the dock. When you get there, the crowd is beginning to disperse. There's still a couple of people, 3 people looking at it, stroking their chins and thinking mannerisms, kind of looking at the water in different places. Other people muttering to themselves.
Upon arrival, Prologue looks around to see if he can figure out what has happened. If he does not see, he will ask the nearest person.
Okay. When you take a brief look around, there's nothing you can see that would have drawn people's attention to the edge of the dock that much. But when you ask the first person, they turn to you and, "Oh, you should have seen it. Some random suit of armor just walked up to the edge and walked in. There was a monkey in it that looked back and waved at everyone as they just fell off the dock into the water. Those people are looking to see if they can scavenge whatever armor was left on that being. Don't know what they went through, but it's not a fun way to go."
That is one question answered. Prologue then turns around at the party and
Who are just arriving because you're a barbarian and have faster movement than everyone else. Other than Finestorm, actually. Finestorm
Yeah,
probably
shows you say it,
stayed
I
up
stayed with him.
close to you. But is sticking to your shadow as you spin, so you never see them.
Would Jartis also be there?
What is your movement again? Is it
He's a
40?
pretty speedy dude.
Did you take the mobile feat? Oh, that's right, also Sata.
I'm not trying to hide, by the way.
Oh, 35. Not quite. They're 40.
Okay.
Abrat and Jartis are the same speed.
You're
Okay, so,
Laundry, you're the slowest
I'm in the
member of the
back.
party.
Yep.
so Prologue will stand waiting for Yolandriel to arrive. And when that happens, Prologue will say, Yolandriel, take Jartis, see if his usefulness is as spoken of, and find access to the Dragonborn.
Okay.
I will take Abarat and Finestorm and investigate more generally the claims made about this threat.
Sounds like a plan, Prologue.
Okay. Prologues then. I assume all the party members were there at that point and heard
Yes.
what Prologue just said.
Everyone would have been
okay.
around.
Okay. The assignments are set. Follow. And then Prologue will then walk back up into the area once he gets into a more populated, crowded area, I guess I should say, crowded area, he will, whilst walking, turn to Finestorm and say, what is your skill set, Finestorm?
Finestorm kneels again to Prologue. This is almost holy one. This one is an acquisition specialist of knowledge and small items.
An excellent skill set. Very well. In that case, find a bumbling guard and steal their keys.
As you command.
So, before getting too far into that, Finestorm, you would know that
There are no keys.
there are no keys. There also are no bumbling guards. If you do see a bumbling guard, they're off duty, and they don't have any of their guard equipment on them. If a guard is caught drunk in the Shallos, they are immediately thrown into the ocean. It's basically, Sabdras is a very tight ship. Good community, but if you break the rules, you're basically out and gone. It's smuggler rules, though, so a little tricky at times.
Okay, so Finestorm will address the Holy One and say, what are you trying to accomplish? The guards do not carry keys.
In case Yolandriel does not succeed, need a way to the top of the, what is it, elevator or stairs?
There is no elevator, it's a spiral up. You have to go all through all the floors just to get to the top.
Is it just like walking? Can I tell? Like
walking.
Okay, it's just walking up.
It's all
like
walking.
Doors.
So I haven't given you a description of the inside yet because you've not gone inside yet.
Okay.
You are in the outskirts town of the mountain itself.
Okay. So
on the outskirts, there is no way to get up. It is all shallow cliff faces. You'd have to scale, and it would be very obvious and seen against the black glass rock.
So I'm just trying to figure out, is the spiral that I'm seeing...
You're not seeing a spiral yet.
I'm not. I'm not. Okay, so that's... No. Okay. So what I'm seeing is just a mountain?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay, I see. Okay. So, Finestorm, in case Yolandriel does not succeed, I need a path to the top of the mountain.
Do I know of any path that's going to be big enough for a Loxodon?
No. Not for a Loxodon. The only way you would know would be the Sabdras's way. Though you're not entirely sure how he gets to the top, the way he goes. The entrance you would never... You knew it to be his secret entrance, but you were never able to get close enough or near it to know what it is. Or where it leads. Too well guarded.
I pass that knowledge on to Prologue.
I see. At this point, Prologue will turn to Aberrat and say, you are a creature of nature. Yes.
Yes.
Are you able to speak to it?
Aberrat focuses in on himself for a moment.
At this point, while he's focusing in, you get a tap on your shoulder, Prologue, and Wisp was like, Prologue, would it be a good idea to be discussing this kind of things in the open like this? He says as he looks around, all the curious faces walking around you as you're standing in the road.
An interesting point, Wisp. I had forgotten your existence, my part.
Oh, that's quite all right. I will just stay back here and only speak up when needed. You can forget about me. It's okay.
That's an excellent point. I couldn't really hear what you were saying, Bon. What was happening?
When Prologue turns back around, Abrat will look up to Prologue and say, I do have the means to speak with plants today. If you'd like, I can see if there are any that we can commune with in the area.
Very good. One moment. Prologue turns back to Firestorm, or Finestorm, and says, do you know a quiet space near here? Preferably with a tree.
Do I?
There are no trees anywhere in this place. The whole aspect of plant growth is minuscule at best. Nothing grows in the ground in Shallos. That's why they have to rely on their surrounding areas for all sorts of food, wood, whatever they need. It cannot be taken from the island itself, because the island does not provide that way. What plants you do see would be like flower pots on the outside of people's buildings that has specific soil brought in to be able to actually grow in that, but not in the ground. So there are some plants you can talk to, but nothing with a tree.
Might Jartus offer his skills
At this point,
to
you would
locate
be.
animals or plants?
At this point, you would be gone with your
me.
Laundriel.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
Yeah.
Me and Prologue are no longer.
How about just a quiet building or an empty building?
Yes.
Nearby?
That you can easily find. In fact, you could probably just head back to the building you previously were all in. It's not too far off.
Or go back to the boat. You're
Well,
at
that too,
docks.
the boat's even closer.
To the building.
Okay. As you all head to the building, we pan over to your Laundriel and Jartus, who have begun marching or walking to the mountain itself.
Actually, no. We get a couple blocks away, and I pull Jartus to the side, and we head into the nearest tavern.
Okay.
I grow concerned with this action, and I ask your Landriel, what are we doing? Yo, what's up,
I have a plan.
sir? All right. So I kind of roll with it, I guess. Being the new guy.
We get in, and I pull out. We get to a table, and I pull out my spell book and I set it down on the table, and I say out loud, enough for you to hear, but it's kind of under my breath. I say, I should really read this whole thing, and I flip through it to the S's, and I find Spell of Sending, 3rd level.
Do you have that
And
prepared?
then nope. And I say, should really read this whole thing. I like tapping on it while looking at Jartus.
So, can I provide guidance? Is there a skill check that he can do to
I'm not sure what you're
access the
trying to
spell?
do.
No, I'm just telling him about the spell. And I just say, yep, if I had known, I could have not had that conversation with Prologue about finding a way to talk to the Dragonborn character. And it came into my head while we were on the walk. So I'm just making a point of like, I should really read this whole fucking thing.
So, Jartis confused. He's just showing you a spell book and tapping on it and saying, I should really read this whole thing.
Hello, sir. I don't know if you've noticed, but I'm a little new here. And as a little new guy, I am slightly confused.
I say, sit down, I'll explain. And then I
I
go
sit
on
down.
to explain the entirety of the events that have transpired. Leaving out some details, like crucial details, but I give him like the spark notes of our journey so far.
That rumble
While
was
we're in this.
the knowledge being
The
transferred
knowledge
into
being
Jartis's head.
transferred. And I'm like, just like talking to like me and him across from each other.
Jartis is shocked. This group
Mhm.
has seen much.
Yes. And I say, this is going to help with our eventual plan. So, and I slap the book and I put it in my pack and I'm like, we didn't have to leave. The group, at least.
As your Landriel is explaining these things to me, I grow ever more endeared by the fact that they may just be the key that I need.
So, give me details you do describe your Landriel.
I say, I got a job. Met up with these guys. Came over here. Got thrown in jail. Like that kind of stuff. Blah, blah, blah. That worked out. I don't explain like that I broke out. I just say that worked out. And then I go on to explain just like, it's just like bullet points of like how we've gotten here. I don't mention like the tree or anything. I don't mention like what exactly happened to the city that we were at before on the mainland. I just say we had to leave there. Yeah. It's like just the minor details of it.
With that added clarification, Jartis is attempting to be perceptive of some of the spots that your Landriel seems to glaze over rather than elaborate on.
Okay.
Is there
give me
a check I can do on that?
Insight check.
Insight? Is
Insight.
that a D20?
That is a d20.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I'm gonna do a performance check. Or should I do a deception?
It would
Performance
be
or
a deception.
Not technically lying. I'm just
No, but you're omitting truths.
yes.
17, and you said that was perception?
For you, it's insight.
Insight. So 17 plus 8?
Oh,
Oh, good
God.
Christ! Yeah, you beat me flat out because I
25.
rolled an 11.
The powers of perception see through you.
Okay, so Jartis, you know he's leaving bits of the story out. But everything he's telling you is the truth. He's just not telling you the whole truth.
I choose not to pry for the sake of being able to let things progress, see what
With-
happens, allow...
Yeah. With that insight, you also notice there are at least 4 people in this tavern who are also listening to what he's talking about.
Mm.
Okay.
So,
I haven't expressed, that like why I'm here. I haven't expressed the Eshnar thing, none of that stuff. I'm just a guy on a
So-
job.
I would lean into your Landriel and I would say, I know that you probably know that I know a little more than you're letting on. But this really isn't the place to discuss this. If you're done showing me what you need to show me, I think we have a bit more to talk about in more private areas.
Okay, I kind of like lean forward and I like whisper to Jartis and I say, I'm not even from this world. Fuck these people. And then I like get up and yeah, we leave.
Both of you give me stealth checks to run under the radar for what you both said.
Okay, yeah. I'll run that stealth. That's a
What is-
damn good stealth.
Oh, nat 20.
What?
Ooh. Guess
plus
what?
5.
I got a dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Okay. All right. So, Yolandril, you stand up to leave.
Yep. I motion for Jardis to follow.
That's exactly how it
Before
happened.
Charters stands up, you hear the bartender call out, "Thank you. Have a good time. Next time, buy something."
Oh, I'm actually gonna stop. And I'm gonna think for a second, man, we could maybe take a job over here, and then I just go, no. And then I I head out the door. I like wave at him. I give him a yep.
Dogs are panicking in the house. Delightful.
Hey.
I thought that was the
Hey.
background.
No, no,
RuneScape.
that's
That blends
the
in
obnoxious
so
dogs
well.
here.
It kind of blends into the Sirenscape.
Honest, yeah. It's
Well,
like,
for you all, not for this guy.
oh,
Anyway, so you head on out. What is your course of action? Where are you going? How are you doing this?
Yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lead him in kind of like a zigzaggy, like around, not in a like straight line to where we're going.
Where are you going?
Back to the boat.
Back to the boat? Okay.
Hmm.
All right, so having spent some time inside the inn there, then, and going back to the boat, we'll hop back to Prologue, find Storm and Aberrat.
So did we make it back to that room?
You do. You find your way back to that building easily enough. Sounds of the city in the background becoming muffled, being so separated from it.
Okay.
Are we being followed?
You are. By at least 2 individuals.
Holy One.
Okay.
We are being followed. By at least 2. Shall we dispatch them?
Which two?
I do a quick glance around.
Okay, give me a sleight of hand. Aberrat, upon the mentioning, you can also give me I would say, perception to see if you can loosely see. You have a good perception, but it's not that good. Oh dear.
Ooh.
The sleight of hand would be a 27.
Oh goodness.
Christ.
I'm just passively perceiving because I rolled a 22, so
Huh.
that's my passive perception.
Well, they didn't do too hot on their roll, sadly, so that part of the roll. So with taking a look, Aberrat, you would see just one person whose eyes were lingered on you all for just too long, flashing back to the wall as soon as he or they realized that they lingered a bit too long on you. Neither of them realized. Yet. But there's still 2 back there. Keeping a distance.
What was the sleight for?
The sleight was to see if you could pinpoint their location without them noticing.
That was quick.
You know where both of them are. Aberrat just got the glimpse of one of them staring too long.
Describe them and tell the locations to the Holy One.
Very well. Aberrat and I will go into this building.
I will.
You stay here if they attempt to approach the building.
Do you wish me to stop them?
Yes, the question is by what method to put them to sleep, if you are able.
Not what the order teaches, but if you wish.
Yes. If they become overly violent, put them down. And then Prologue's going to go into the house and signal Avarat to join.
Avarat will follow.
Firestorm will look like he's in there in the house, but at that shadow point, disappear.
Give me a stealth check.
Can it be passive?
No, not for this one. You're within line of sight. You're trying to do this very deliberately.
It will be...
Don't forget with advantage.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. With
Yeah.
advantage. 2. So that was a 6, and the other roll will be a... Oh, yeah, much better. That will be a 29.
Okay.
Oof.
For a second, Prologue, it
Did
looks
I
like...
say mid-max?
For a second, it looks like Firestorm's about to join you into the building, but as soon as they get to that threshold, where the sun's rays kind of cast a shadow onto the building itself, they just vanish and disappear. No longer at the entrance. Oh.
Remember, they're at disadvantage.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Thank God.
So we got into the building. I'll turn to Avarat and say, speak to the nature. See if it knows anything about this threat.
I will look around the building, and there are no plants in here, obviously. So
No.
I'll then look at Abrat. I am Abrat. I will look at Prologue, and I will say, there are no plants in this building. Nature doesn't quite function as a whole. I need to actually have access to living, living material, really.
There are living things in dirt, yes.
Not actually.
Not how it works.
I'm going to this building. How old does it look?
It looks old.
Fungus. Give me some of that fungus.
I want to look around and see if I might be able to find maybe decay anywhere.
Old is a fungus.
Or is it well kept but old?
The wood itself is well treated. It's been well treated through the times. The best you can find is it is decrepit, old, and dusty.
Dusty.
What is the floor made out of?
The floor, it's made out of stone.
Oh, sheesh.
Yes.
Okay.
It is
By
a mountain.
unhospitable range, I mean unhospitable. There is no earth beneath your feet. It is all stone.
Oh, I did not. Oh,
There is no
okay.
earth around this place in general. The whole description is it's stone.
Yeah.
It's
I thought it just wasn't just not grilled
No.
dirt. Okay, so it's stone.
Mhm.
Okay,
It
well,
is
this makes
black
this venture
obsidian
feel
stone
pretty
in
dumb.
entirety.
Okay.
Well, I mean, it could work if we could find somewhere where it's unkept and there might be mold growing. Because mold can get places. Unfortunately, if it's new, because this does seem like a very well-kept location, there's not much we're going to be able to find from around here. Nature it can be fickle at times. And this place is very derived of life in that sense.
That is unfortunate.
Mm-hmm.
Prologue motions for Aberrat to sit. Prologue's going to sit cross-legged on the ground and just ponder things for a while, and also see if the onlookers come to the house and need to be taken care of. Just to see.
Fine, Storm, where are you going with your disappearance? What are your intentions?
Which is the smallest?
They are both roughly around the same size.
What
The
are
one on
they?
the left might be a little smaller, but they're also staying... The alleyway itself, you're a couple of houses down, but where they're standing at inside the main street has a good, clean line of sight. They're not getting close. It looks like they're just trying to keep a general preference of where the group is.
I'm going to head down to where I can see their faces.
Okay.
Whatever range that will be.
Give me a history check.
History check. Blah. Why you always find the ones I don't want? Oh, that was going for the 20, but no modifier. 6.
6? Okay. They both look to be... You get close enough to where you can distinguish their faces and see more exactly what they look like. They both look to be very rugged sailors, wearing that same kind of clothes, salt-stained and rough-worn. Bit more of a tanner skins, having been out in the skin or the sun for too long in the skin. Oof.
Skin.
Very well-built, scarred in some places. One of them's freckle-faced, but they just seem to be peering at some stalls, looking through some goods, some busier stalls, occasionally looking back and forth.
But they keep looking down at the house.
They, one at a time, yep.
Do they look the other direction out onto the street ever?
They occasionally look around. But it's all very subtle.
It's subtle, but it's on purpose, which means it's kind of predictable.
They continue doing that for a while.
I don't want to waste key at this moment. I'll just observe them I'll get as close to one as I think I safely can in the shadows.
Not as hard to do. In some areas, you might have to skip around some blocks, try to get to some shadowed parts. The sun is beginning to lower down from the area, and with that, it brings let's see, eastern side. Sunsets to the west. Yeah, remembering things correctly.
I'll pick that side.
Yeah. So from where the sun's hitting the roofs, there are shadows being cast in certain directions, and you pick the right spots and stand and watch. There are other people moving around the streets. It seems to be getting busier now that the sun is getting down. The roads are getting more populated with more people. And these areas just lively as itself. They stay there for the entire time until they see someone depart and leave.
Do they speak at all?
They do not.
Do they sign at all?
They do not.
There's not much I can do at the moment. He doesn't want him dead.
They're also around other people as well. They're not hiding like you.
Mm-hmm.
If anything, they're hiding in plain sight.
Mm-hmm. After a couple of minutes, I'm going to go back to the door of the building, still in the shadows.
Okay.
Just keep an eye on him.
Okay. So we got your Londriel and Jartis. You're heading back to the boat.
Mm-hmm.
Any particular actions on the boat?
No. We're just going to wait for Prologue to get back.
Anything from you, Jartis? You've just been brought onto a boat full of
I
other
am
people.
fascinated by the ability of this group to have a boat. As one of the Shallos estate, I understand how difficult it can be to have a vessel of your own independent design. Or at least independent operation.
I am going to, with an insight roll of a dirty 20, to see that on his face.
Dirt twat.
And I'm going to say, it's not our boat. We just hired the captain. Speaking of which, I should probably introduce you.
My
And then
impression level is only decreased by maybe about 3%. Still impressed.
I am going to take him up. Anyone of like import that we see along the way, I'm going to quickly introduce on our way to go.
None of them are there. The only people you see are basic guards posted on the top and in the hold to guard the boat. So it appears everyone else is ashore, probably at a bar, because you heard great mention from Etanis. You heard from Sabre that she had things to do for the boat, and you also remember where you met the crew of the ship, which was in a bar.
Okay. Then I'm going to look around and say, never mind. They're back getting drunk. Why don't we try and find some food? Wait for Prologue and the rest of the group.
Jartis is down.
Okay. I like go to the nearest guard and I say, you seen Anubicide, the sort of armor.
I haven't seen anyone named by Anubicide in a suit of armor, but I saw a suit of armor walk into the ocean towards the beginning of my shift.
Okay, I'm just gonna say, well, I guess she'll find us when she finds us.
I think some people are actually trying to fish it out right now. It might still be out there.
Probably not the case, I say. And then I
It's a nice
give him
suit
a
of
nod
armor. Good coin.
and leave. And yeah, we go find some food.
Okay. Find a fish taco place nearby.
Oh yeah? Okay.
Get some good
I
fish
order the
tacos.
shrimp scampi. No, just kidding.
You get the fish. You get the
scampi.
shrimp scampi. You hear mumbling and arguing and angry pan throwing inside the kitchen. Dwarf pokes their head out and is like, "Fish scampi will be there in 40 minutes. Stupid, gotta go and get some shrimp." Prologue, how long are you waiting in the building?
5 minutes.
Oh, ba. That's not enough time for scampi. You gotta
That's
wait.
not very long, yeah.
Scampi?
Waiting
Full
5
stamps,
minutes
not a
in the
scampi.
building. I guess Wisp is in there with us too.
He is. He's just quietly
Okay.
sitting, twiddling his thumbs.
Nice. At the end of that, I realize Wisp is there, and I turn to Wisp and say, do you have any thoughts on this possible threat and what it could be or mean?
Well, the immediate thoughts would be if it's not safe for magic doers to be here anymore, why am I here? Their second thought
see.
would be we should resupply and go. And the third thought would be I don't want to die.
Okay. Yeah, that should be enough time. Prologue then gets up, motions to Abarat, and peeks out the door and sees if looking for the two individuals that were
Okay.
around.
Give me a perception check.
That's an 8.
An 8. You can see the street, the busy street, has gotten a little busier. But no one strikes your eye. No one in particular jumps out of the crowd.
I just am like looking with like one eye, leaning.
Meanwhile, the door's like half open because his head's so big.
Right. And then
Am I back to the door?
I'm going to whisper, Fine Store, are you there?
Am I back to the door by that point, or?
This could be the point where you're back to the door easily, yeah.
Okay. And I will whisper back, yes, Holy One, and they are still there. But they have not moved. They're just watching, waiting for us to leave.
Did you happen to discover another route out of here?
I did not look for one, but I will now.
Perfect.
I gotta keep remembering. I keep saying I can't say I. This one will look for one. And I will go find another route out.
Okay. With your passive investigation, you find one fairly quick. It's the second floor. There is a back window that they can get through. Prologue might fit. But if you get out back there, you could probably make the slip of the two individuals.
Okay. I'll come back to Prologue and tell them that.
Very well.
This whole time, Prologue, you have no idea where Firestorm is. You just hear the voice coming from the shadows.
Very well. So Prologue will turn back to the two in the room and say, there are watchers that will need to be eluded. Take appropriate action. And then...
Abarat's going to... hold on. There it is, yes, this one. He's going to whisper something in Druidic, wave his hand, and sprinkle a little bit of, or hold up his Druidic focus, sorry, and cast Pass Without a Trace.
Ooh.
On the room.
And what
Okay.
happened?
I cast Pass Without a Trace, so your stealth rolls have +10.
Oh, nice. All right. So Prologue's going to then leave the building, attempting to stealth. Once he is
Are you
out.
going out the front entrance, or are you going out the back entrance? Out the window at the back that was communicated to you, or are you walking just out the
Okay,
front entrance?
I thought the window was not in this building. Then yes,
No, it's
to
in the
the
same
window.
building.
Okay, yes. Out the window. Stealthing out the window as best as
Okay.
Big Prologue can.
So first, give me a stealth check to maneuver through essentially the building to see if you can get out of their sight and well enough to be able to get to the top without them noticing.
Is he at the window? Am I at the window?
It's windows looking into the building as a whole. It's not that big of a building, but the windows on the first floor do see clearly into the main room, the only main room of the building itself.
I mean,
that-
when Prologue is at the window trying to get out, I'd like to be at the outside of that window.
You can be, yeah.
So with the plus 10, got a cool 15.
Really, wow.
I got a nat 20 on mine.
For a total of?
31.
Okay. Wisp got a nat 20 on his for a total of 21. Or 31 as well, actually, with a pass without a trace.
Pass without a trace is awesome. Yes.
It is a beautiful thing. Okay. So you make it up to the window itself. I need everyone now to give me a dexterity check to see if they can get through this window. Prologue at disadvantage. It's not big enough for you.
Okay.
It's just, you can barely squeeze through, but it's going to be difficult.
Okay. So can I tell that that is the case?
You can.
Okay. Prologue is going to take out his water skin and water himself down. Try to get a little bit looser up in there. Then he's going to go for it.
Okay.
Oh. 13.
13. Okay. While he's doing this, Abrat, what'd you get?
I got a nat 20 again.
Nice.
21 total.
21. You deftly get out the window and jump down from the second story to the first. Prologue, you push your way through. There is some creaking from the wood, kind of bowing out from your muscles as you're trying to get yourself situated. You, for a second, lose your grip with one of your feet, but catch yourself and lower yourself down to the first level fairly easily. Wisp begins to climb out. It's like, oh, right, I've never been quite good. Loses grip completely and just falls.
Can Prologue attempt to catch?
You can. He rolled a natural 1, so
Wow.
he just
Jeez.
falls. Give me your reaction. This would be a dexterity or athletics to
Going
go over and try to
athletics.
catch him. Athletics,
Yes.
okay.
Abrat is going to step back, so he's not in the way.
Okay.
24.
24. Easy enough. You capture Wisp princess style inside your hands. He looks at you and he's like, oh, thank you, Prologue.
Of course.
Give him a smooch.
Now then, Prologue will whisper, trying to be stealthy still. Fine Storm, do you know the ship that I came in on?
No.
Give me a
You
deception.
know the port.
The port I know.
Fine Storm, that would be a deception, you know.
I know. 6.
6.
Do you want me to roll something? Or not?
My passive
Yeah.
insight is a 14.
So I'm actually
Insight.
going to judge this one on passives. So what is your passive insight, Prologue?
Ooh, how do I know that?
It's going to be on the left-hand side, the box just below your saving throws.
Oh. That's an insight. Oh, 10.
10? Yeah, you both know he's lying when he said no.
Why do you lie to me?
Liar.
Liar. Liar.
Prologue's just gonna be.
Yeah, this one apologizes, but this one is in the habit of not telling everybody the truth all the time.
It can be a useful skill. Do not practice it with me.
Yes, Holy One. Yes, I know the ship.
Show me the best way.
We show them the best way there.
Stealth it.
Stealthing. Okay. You travel back to the boat.
Yeah, it will last 1 hour, so.
A very long time. Pass without a trace.
Yeah.
It does. So you're stealthy enough for that. When you get back to the boat, Yolondril and Jartis are both there. No one else is. Just the skeleton crew guarding the vessel.
While we were eating, I'm gonna, with a mouthful of food, look up at Jartis and ask, "So what's your story? What's up with you?" And then I keep eating.
My story is one that is not necessarily exciting, but full of experience nonetheless. I was sold at a young age to be an apprentice for the do-good, industrious nature of the Shallos estate. So I learned many, many things in the comings and goings of our work there. I started to grow curious about my true nature. Being a satyr, the Fae is not necessarily commonly understood. So I'm curious about that. I've seen things that which I choose not to speak of at the moment, but rest assured, the benign curiosity of the Fae is what drives me.
Interesting. I say as I like rip off a chunk of bread and then rip it in half and give him part of the bread as we sop up our soup with it.
Take the bread and enjoy it heartily.
Yeah.
With said soup.
With said soup.
So, are we reaching a conclusion to our meal? Are we finishing it up?
When they arrive.
Chow down 90% complete?
Getting close to.
Okay. We're munching.
Getting close to the conclusion of it. They all arrive back on the boat. You can hear the clomps and heavy footsteps of Prologue above you. It's either Prologue or Tontor.
Okay, I'm gonna look up and see like the dust coming down, And I'm gonna say, bet it's Prologue. Continue to eat. I'm gonna move my bowl slightly and some dust is gonna like settle next to the bowl. Yeah.
You're all back on the boat? Anything in particular from anyone?
Keep going. I'll still be able to hear you.
Upon arrival, I ask whatever the skeleton in the crew that is about if anyone has returned.
Returned at all? No, not yet. I don't think they'll be returning at all tonight. I think they're probably off doing the drinking. We've got organized for a resupply in the morning. Don't know how long it'll take. And then I'm sure the captain would like to do her normal. I don't know what the plan is, actually. I'm just assuming what we normally do.
Has any of my party returned?
Oh! You mean tattooed face? Well, yeah, he came back with a satyr of some kind. As far as Anubis I know, I don't know.
Prologue waves him and keeps walking. And he goes below, try to find Yolanda.
Oh, excuse me.
Finds Yolanda, I assume. And
the mess hall.
says, "You have returned to the boat. Did you find a path to the Dragon Ball?"
Found a way to talk to him. We won't
Excellent.
need to find a path. We can leave as soon as we see fit. And then I'm going to point to the the pot of soup. And I'm going to say, soup's up. And then I'm going to go back to eating.
Prologue is going to motion to Aberrat and Finestorm to the soup, and he's going to go get some soup and get his eat on as well.
Okay. Food going
Sounds
on.
good.
Brett isn't going to actually get any food. He's just going to go take a seat next to Jartis.
I'm going to look at both of them and I'm going to say, hey, you're both druids, right? Look back and forth.
I am technically a druid, yes. Yes.
What are you druid of? I say, pointing at Jardis. He's something about spores or something.
I am a druid of the forest. I speak to
On the Shallos estate. Okay.
yes. Though my nature be not congruent with the many comings and goings of my life, I do find myself quite at home, the trees and the animals. So that is my natural endeavor, is to seek out more connections and relationships because of my lack of poor. There's no forest. It's bad on the Shallos estate. Don't know if you noticed. Not a lot of trees out here. So maybe the absence is what makes my heart grow fond even more. So you're right. There's not a lot out here, but one can appreciate that which is not here.
With a mouthful of bread, I point at Aberrat and I say, speaking of trees, you feel anything?
Not here, no. This place is quite barren.
I'm going to look at Prologue and I'm going to say, Prologue, you heard them. No tree. As soon as our business is done here, let's move on.
That is the plan. I need to speak to the Admiral this evening first. But yes.
And I'll be able
After
to speak with the Dragonborn in the morning, so be ready.
Very good. What time is it?
It is getting close to sunset.
Oh, perfect. Okay, in that case, after Prologue is finished eating, he will get up and say to the group, I go to speak to the Admiral. Remain here. And Prologue goes to the other boat to speak to the Admiral.
Okay. Out of the four, the other of you, anything in particular you're doing for the close of the day?
Abrat's going to curiously look at between Jartis and Finestorm, and while they're eating, and just kind of look them both over.
Okay. While you're looking them both over, the satyr, he doesn't look per se like the group. Elandriel and Prologue look well travelled. Nubicide, despite her perfection in armor, you could tell was well travelled. Jartus doesn't really look like that. Look like someone who's innocent and eager for adventure, not fully understanding what adventure might mean. Mind you, you don't fully understand necessarily what adventure might mean either, being new yourself. As for Fine Storm, Enigma. It is a straight-faced black tabaxi just sitting, potentially observing as well. There's one clear difference you notice between this tabaxi and the ones you've met so far. Well, yeah, the ones you've met Gorm, because he's on the same ship. Gorm from the Nightlock and Admiral Vuja from the Gralior, their fur itself is more glistened back, oily in nature, as if they're more of akin to seafaring lifestyle, of jumping into water and swimming more regularly. This one is fluffed. Looks like a mountain cat. So even though you can tell that they're both the same, all the same race, Tabaxi, there seems to be a very clean and clear difference between them. You also can probably get to the assumption that Fine Storm, favorite color, black. Everything's black. The only thing that's not is the blue eyes.
Hmm. Then, after giving both of them a nice look over, I'll look over at Jartis and I'll say, so, you mentioned that your name is not Gartis, but Jartis.
Yes, sir.
And you were pretty adamant about that. Is there a reason why you don't want to be called by your father's name?
My father was a very, he's a very complicated individual, one that I didn't know very well, so, I choose not to be associated with things I don't understand.
But you do want to understand the Fae.
The Fae is of my nature. My father is of my lineage.
I'm gonna switch to speaking in Sylvan. But I'm not really, other than anything else. I'm just switching what language I'm speaking in.
Okay.
So if the Fae are vastly what you're interested in, do you know much about plants in the Feywild?
At this moment, I am growing slightly suspicious of the continual questions about my research. So maybe I have a... Do I have like some kind of perception to determine if this is a benign inquiry or if we're trying to...
Insight. Give us an insight check.
Being the guarded individual I am about the true nature of my research. I roll a nat 2.
Okay, I'm definitely.
With +8. Not great.
So you have
10.
no general. It seems like innocent inquiries, but this being that's asking you does have fungus and mushrooms growing on them, so might not be.
Okay. So mixed bag. So I'll give a mixed bag response. So my research is not quite yet fully revealed to me the true nature of. But I'm willing to continue walking the path to see what the true nature of the Fae could be, being one. So I leave it at that.
I'm gonna say to him, and what if the nature of the Fae is to not be understood? And I take off my halberd and I set it against the table, and I'm like taking off my armor, and
Can your
I
Landriel-
stretch.
Can your Landriel understand Sylvan?
Oh
That's a good
yeah, that's
question.
right.
Can
you
you
guys
understand
are
Sylvan?
That's right. You guys are speaking in Sylvan. No, I do not
No,
understand.
you
that. I
have
completely
no
forgot.
idea what they're talking about. Fine
Okay,
Storm,
then I'm
can
rolling
you?
an insight.
No,
No,
not
Okay.
yet.
not yet.
Yeah. So
I'm rolling an insight on the conversation. Then doesn't matter. Rolled in that one. Doesn't matter. I have taken off my
It's
armor and my halberd, and
language.
I am now doing
So-
yoga in the mess hall.
At this point, while Jartis is not necessarily entirely comfortable with the dynamics of joining a new group, being someone who has lost group dynamics in the past, and that mattered a lot to Jartis at the time, he sees no reason not to distrust completely. So it's a guarded acquaintanceship, I would say. I see the utility in joining your crew, following your creed, sir.
That evening progresses. Prologue, you travel over to the other boat, and when you get on board, you run into Derek first, who looks at you confused and like, aren't you supposed to be in a conference call?
Not yet.
It's nearly sundown.
I thought the conference call was for midnight.
No.
Nope.
Tonight. It's tonight at Okay, here, no, it's fine. Here, I'll take it. He starts walking. Well, come on then. I think I've got a cot that's big enough for your body. I'll give you a sleeping potion so you can fall asleep.
Okay. Prologue follows. Does that.
What brought you over here anyway?
To speak to the Admiral about the war chest.
You came over here near the end of the day, to speak to her about money.
Yes.
You can speak to her about the money with the king himself present. She's already there in the conference call.
Prologue lays down, takes whatever potion this guy gives him.
Essentially gives you an ounce of some clear liquid inside it's a tuft of rum, just a small drink of it. And very soon after, you begin to doze off and find yourself opening your eyes in a similar environment of sorts, a corridor made of wood. Looking at an open door, and inside you can hear some voices. And it's actually there where we're going to take a little bit of an early break as Prologue heads into that. So we will be back in 10 or so. Yeah, he said tonight, not midnight.
Oh, okay. Misheard on that one.
I was a little curious. I didn't. I was like, I'm not gonna correct, because even if he heard it incorrectly, it's fine. Well, he's going to the right place. But yeah, there we go. We're gonna take a little bit of a break, 10 or so minutos, and we will be back with what was essentially called a conference call. We'll see what that is and what that's like. See you all in a bitty. When the computer, get some refills. Lily, yay. Hello, and we're back. Hope everyone had a good moment to lose some ounces and prepare themselves for some more. So Lily gave some refills in there. We left off with nighttime coming, Prologue getting not necessarily corrected, but more just that, oh no, by night we meant at sundown. So quickly hurried, giving a sleeping potion to fall asleep quickly. And when you do, you opened your eyes to a wood-paneled corridor with a door open in front of you. Inside you can see a large table already formed, and you can't quite see the sides of it, but you could see at the head of the table at one end already is King Shago. He's got one hand extended out on the table, the other one simply resting just underneath his lip, and he glances up, notices you, and then looks at someone else who's talking at the table. Can't quite fully understand what people are saying. Do you enter?
Go in, sit at the first chair. The closest chair.
Closest chair? Closest chair would be just at the end, on the left-hand side. Across from you, you see an elf who's in this splint mail that looks designed to... From your understanding, you've spent a decent amount of time in the area. You know this to be of... Ooh, let me get to the map so I know these places. We're talking about Quayla now. It is of the Olavening Kingdom. You spent a good chunk in the northern part of this place as the mercenary hunting down Huglopids, as it's directly... What's that word? Directly connected to the Empire Luo. This individual, though you have not met them, you immediately recognize it to be King Onus, the one who runs the Olavening Kingdom. He sits, patiently waiting, smiles at you as you take the seat opposite. He's very gentle-looking elf. Shorter, brown hair. Carries a long sword and a shield on his back. There's also Admiral Vuja, who's near the head of the table, sitting on one side of King Shago. You also see an elderly turtle, who has a green shell with bumps on parts of it that have moss growing on it. Excuse me. Had to clear my throat. There is also, at one point, a Goliath, who has moved the chairs aside, and is squatting down with a gnome sitting on his shoulder, or a halfling sitting on his shoulder.
What do you mean by Goliath?
It is a half-giant. They are large, bit more pale in skin, stony type look to it. Portions with tattoos depicting very clearly images of figures moving through. You get the sense, having questioned people about tattoos a lot, that these ones are very specifically about a story. Basically the lifespan of this individual. You also know that this combination of seeing a Goliath and a halfling very clearly makes them to be from the Kaluzar Kingdom, the southern side of Quayla. These two, you can presume, from what you're seeing around, to be the leaders of that section.
What did you say, it was a gnome or a halfling?
Halfling. I said gnome at first, but had to correct a halfling. The turtle you've never met, however, you can, with your general understanding, is most likely Chief Evanbright of the nation of Slebar, to the west of Quayla. And then obviously is Admiral Vuja, representing the Osirid merchants. Everyone is silent for a while as a few look at you up and down. And Shago says, "Good. That's one of two missing. Thank you for joining us, Prologue." And after that you hear behind you, "And I'm finally getting here. Sorry, last place notice." A metallic-looking dragonborn walks in behind, skinnier build than all the others you've been witnessing around Andrea. You know this to be from Quayla. For you, Prologue, there might be a tinge of hate for this individual. This is the king of the Drarian kingdom. He was the one who didn't sanction, but also didn't stop the destruction of your clan. He wanders around, takes a seat on the opposite end of the table. What's all this about? We're here to discuss the Andrean problem. Surely you've been paying attention to the messages that have been sent to your secretaries? When I get around to what I can. What's the Loxodon doing here? Because I requested, Prologue, now that we are all here, if you would, for every one of us to hear by your words. What's been going on? What have you discovered?
Where would you like me to begin in the timeline?
Vuja speaks up. I think you should start with the trees. That seems like a good spot to begin.
The first tree or the second tree?
The turtle leans forward. There were two. By all means, please start with the first. I am most curious into this.
Shortly after the arrival of my band, we went into a mountain cavern and discovered what can only be called a corrupted tree. Immense size. It was destroyed, and its heart taken out. Then we traveled on. Did you want me to skip to the second tree, or do you want to know the information in between?
I'm more curious about the second tree.
After we left the city of the undead, that was overrun by undead, we traveled across the water to an island in some kind of magical trance. After the loss of Raspidus, the two shadow monsters, we went into another cave following the messages of an acquaintance of ours. There we found another tree of similar build, but uncorrupted. It spoke to the group and commissioned Yolandriel to assist in cleansing the trees. Apparently there are many, some corrupted, and they either need to be destroyed or cured. To that end, the heart was given, but when Yolandriel touched it, it seemingly broke, and an individual came from the tree at that point, Abarat, a moldy nature creature. And decided to join our ranks in order to give assistance in healing or destroying the corrupted trees. At that point, I left the island, the group, and made for the Shallos estate. On the way there, we were accosted, and some of Paraspidus's belongings were taken, specifically tome and some notes. Tried to follow into the sea, but the individual went into an underwater metal tube that moved faster than I could swim, and it evaded. Realizing I could not catch it, returned to the ship and made for the Shallos estate. Upon arrival to the Shallos, shortly after arrival, confronted by the second in command of this place, and told that they had a gut feeling that magic users were in extreme peril, and that should leave immediately. Two more individuals joined. That is Jartis, who was recommended by the second in command of the island, and Finestorm, who not much is known about, except he is an excellent follower of Creed, and therefore should be trusted.
Oh, great. More of the Creed. What's his name? Lemrid, none of that. You diverged off point. The trees. Were there any similarities between the first and the second?
Yes, they were very similar, except one was corrupt looking, and I believe one of my party members has a jar of the sap fluid, which was it looked very much like blood.
Well, without having my hands on them myself, I wouldn't be able to fully tell you, King Sabdras, what is going on with those trees. If you can establish a circle when you arrive on land, I might be able to get over sooner, but I would need the samples. We can see about having a runner go that direction, but we haven't got to why that is important just yet. I'm more curious about the presence of where Princess Kostia is. Do you have anything to report on that?
I've only heard what Paraspidus said before his demise. That is, Princess is in prison, seemingly of her own fruition, to gain knowledge of something she would not say.
The elf across from you kind of chuckles, laughs at that while looking down at the table and looks up and... That makes sense. She's always a bit of one of those risk takers. Much like her brother in that sense. Speaking of which, do you know where her brother is?
I last saw a city that was run by undead, but have not heard of him since.
Neither have we heard from him since. My best bet is he's probably gone off doing something to look for his sister. Prologue, I don't believe you've personally met King Ornus yet. No, but I've heard plenty about your name. It's a pleasure to finally meet you, Prologue. Good to see you making a name for yourself finally.
Thank you.
The Goliath. What of military strength? What can you tell us about the nations? I was kind of wondering about that myself. That other voice was the halfling sitting on his shoulder.
The nation to the west, they are weak and bickering. They are many. The nation to the east is well suited. Metal plate and beasts for this, but they seem much fewer.
The Goliath begins stroking their chin. If we are to learn anything from history, then... Looks up at the halfling. Could be a repeat in our societies. Yeah, could be. At the same time. Pats the top of the head of the Goliath. I think they're about the same size. As each other, that is. Is there any talk of peace?
There was talks of peace. There was a meeting in a city that was overrun by the undead. Before its conclusion, the undead appeared. I am of the opinion, and this is only of my personal observation, that the peace was unlikely to hold. The grudges seemed too deep.
Finally, the Dragonborn looks at you and... I'm curious about this report of a Huglopid.
Yes. When we were in the city that was overrun by the undead, we went into the meeting, the peace talks. When we realized we were being invaded, we made haste to the port. As we were leaving, I smelled the lipid. It was the king of the eastern nation. Of this I am certain.
They kind of glimpse around at each other for a moment. Huglopid more equipped for war. Metal-clad. That doesn't seem right. Not the Huglopids we're used to. That's for sure. What was his name?
His aim is yet unknown. You task me with finding it. I have not yet made it back to the mainland.
Oh no, Prologue. That is something I can take care of myself. That brings me to my point. After discussion and debate with the king, we have concluded that in order for diplomatic reasons, it is better if I go to Listrabga to meet with the king. As for yourself, that is why we are here. Chief Evan Bright believes that those trees have much more significance than what we know. And with the reports of a magus in the area, there are concerns. We would like it if you would take care of this and look into it more for us.
Prologue turns to King Shago and says, if this is your will, then I will make it so.
The threat of an unchecked magus doing what they will with their magic is great. If they have any correlation to these trees, then yes, we need to know. You said it was having an effect on the area around it. That concerns me.
Yes. It seemed to. Even the uncorrupted tree spread a large land space that went on and on. Corrupted, I imagine, would do the same.
I
Except
have a question. The hearts of the trees. Did you acquire both of their hearts? Or just the first?
the second, as I mentioned, was acquired upon touching Yolandriel, and then was given to a merchant in a trade piece of Yolandriel's armor, a helmet.
No matter, I understand your Yolandriel's mission to be important as well. Then this would be my direct request. Find these trees and bring me a heart of each.
That be corrupted or uncorrupted, both.
Yes.
Bring the hearts.
Bring the heart of a corrupted one and one that is not corrupted. I would like to know the difference.
Very good. To be clear, King Shago, you only require 2 hearts in total.
In total, yes. However, I would be willing to give you as a mercenary a bonus for any extras.
Very well. Would you... Is that my main mission now?
Yes.
Very well. If you have no more questions or commands for me, I have some.
Ooh. It's sure to be fun. The elf kicks his feet up onto the table, raises his hand, and a glass of wine just appears in it. Starts to sip. And everyone's just staring at you, watching. King Shay goes, and, yes?
In our attempts to save Paraspatus, our chest was depleted. I will need more in order to continue effectively in your commands.
How much more?
That would depend on how effective you'd like us to be. Simply for supplies, 500 gold. But if bribes are needed, animals, individuals acquired, 5,000 seemed like it would suffice at this time.
Admiral Vuja looks over at King Shago and also says, they've been up against two trees, one which almost cost them, and the other one which did. Clearly they are not well equipped for this mission. I would suggest 5 to Prologue and 2 to each of his constituents. Prologue, roll me a persuasion with advantage.
Okay. 10.
10. How many are in your party? I'm already paying your captain an exorbitant amount.
To be clear, I do not ask for pay. Money is of little consequence, and I can be paid when it is finished for all I care. What I am asking is for supplies to do the job well. But to answer your question, there are, including myself, 5 that are my command. Well, 4 under my command and myself makes 5. Yes.
Vuja, give them 1,000 each. And their pay in advance. I can't give you too much from the king's from my own coffers. However, we can do what we will do what we can to help. 1,000 each, plus pay. I will take care of that. I will get him reimbursed, one way or the other. Of course, I'll pay you back. Is there anything else, Prologue?
I am not a politician. I, until recently, did not lead. But this change, of course, seems abrupt. Would you mind enlightening me?
Give me a persuasion check.
A 2.
2. You know what you need to know, Prologue.
Very well. Nothing else. No other questions.
Then I would ask you to see yourself out. Your purpose in this meeting has fulfilled itself.
Okay. Walks out. I'm not sure how one gets out of a dream conference, but he'll wait in the hallway until it's over.
Leave the room and give me a wisdom check.
16.
16. You stand there and kind of do that Pulp Fiction looking around, not knowing entirely sure what you're going to do, and then focus for a second and you wake up. You're in the dream. You just have to think about being awake for this to work. You shoot up and Derek's sitting there next to you and says, "Oh, finished already? Oh, that wasn't too long. Is all well?"
signal is more clear. Well seems unlikely.
You're welcome to stay here for the night. If the Admiral's not awake yet, then she probably won't be for a while. It's not often a conference call gets an outsider invited in.
May I ask a favor?
Sure.
I am going to go back to sleep. Awake me when the Admiral is available.
All right.
Thank you. Prologue goes back to sleep.
Okay. Is there anything from the rest of you before the night closes?
When Abrat's done essentially having his little brief query conversation with Jartis, he's going to turn to Finestorm, if Finestorm is still there.
Yes.
And you'll look at him and you go, so, earlier you automatically responded to not knowing what boat we were on, but it was pretty clear you did. This was referred to as a skill by Prologue. But he didn't want you practicing this skill on him. I'm most keen to continue refining my skill of catching such lies, let's put quotes around that. If you'd like, don't hesitate to worry about that with me. If I notice, I notice. If I don't notice... And then Abrat will relax.
No response.
I go to sleep. 'Cause I
Okay.
need to speak with someone in the morning.
So, the night passes.
I find a shadow to hide in to go to sleep.
Find a nook that is well darkened, and you can perceive that won't be bright even in the morning time. The night goes through, nothing of disturbance, until you all hear the morning time come. For the rest of you, it comes with the sound of some people drunkenly coming on top of the boat and fumbling around, and the calls of, "You're late! You never showed up for second night shift. I had to stand here all night waiting. Yeah, fine. You're still drunk." "No, I'm not." Basically arguments like that going on up at the top of the deck.
As a note, Abrat would have taken his sentry post at the front of the boat during the night, during his trance and everything.
Kind of spending your time up there doing your trance there.
Yeah, so I'd be up there when all this goes on.
Okay. What are you all doing for the morning?
You go first.
I'm rather curious about these people coming onto the deck. But I don't know, I guess I'd just listen in as best as I could underneath.
Underneath?
Is there a check for that?
Give me a general perception check.
Perception. Oof. 3.
3. There's quite a few of them up there. They're arguing, yelling some shouts, all friendly, kind of banter, ending in laughter every now and then. seems like normal morning sounds. You can hear the streets also beginning to come back to life outside, but nothing in particular. Nothing popping out to you.
Not sure. I think I'm gonna consult with the group, figure out what's our next move. What we're doing. Strange people on the boat.
Considering Firestorm's stealth capabilities, you pass right by them in the shadowy areas. First one you would probably find is your Londriel, who is probably at this point in the middle of their hour of yoga.
Yes, of course. Also, let me change this. It. Boom. While I'm doing my yoga, I am, using sending. I send a short message of 25 words or less to a creature with which you are familiar. The creature hears the message in its mind, recognizes you as the sender. If it knows you, it can answer in a like manner immediately. Spell enables creatures with intelligence scores of at least 1 to understand the meaning of your message. Blah, blah, blah. You can send a message across any distance and even to other planes of existence, but if the target is on a different plane than you, there is a 5% chance that the message does not arrive. I'm going to talk to that Dragonborn guy.
Okay.
I am going to say, it's Galandril. I'm in Shallos. People are watching my group. It's not safe to speak in person. This will have to do. Is that like 22, I think?
That's
Unless
22.
I counted wrong.
That's 22, yeah.
XOXO smooch smooch.
Well, you get the XOXO. XOX.
No, just the message.
Okay. You wait a moment, and there is no reply.
Okay. I saw him.
You did.
We saw him, right? Yeah. Okay.
You were acquainted.
Okay. If there's no reply, then there's no reply. Yeah. I finished my yoga. Let me write that down, folks. Can't forget. And I'm at 20 hours, so I don't know what you want to do with that, but...
Which is good to note. This will be the point where Jartis comes in.
You see me doing yoga. Muscles glistening with sweat.
I ask, what are you doing, good sir?
Like as I'm like leaning over in a deep, deep stretch, I'm gonna say, just some yoga. Care to join me?
Sure. Care to lead?
Yep. I like show you the moves as I do it. They start to get progressively more extreme until I'm literally.
Yeah.
If yeah.
Jartis, give me acrobatics. Acrobatics check. It's going to be in your skill section.
You see me? I grab 2 chairs, right? And I like
plus 2.
Oh,
12.
I set them next to each other, right? In the distance between my 2 feet. And then you see me slowly but surely drop into a Jean-Claude Van Damme splits while pushing the chairs out, you know? Until I'm like deep in the stretch to where like I'm like this, you know?
You begin to start trying to do his stretches and do the same motions. You get the sense like, oh, that'll be easy, and then get a portion of the way that Elandriel can get through. He is flexible. He can get into positions you can't. Almost stumble over yourself a couple times. Overall, you don't do badly. But you definitely need to do some stretching. You can feel it at the end. A little
Poor
sore.
satyr.
I'm gonna say, while we're doing it, he used to be an athlete. Man, some friends of mine used to do this every morning.
Well, I appreciate you imparting your knowledge, and I look forward to. Look, it really, really hurts. Can I just go sit down and like do something else for a little bit? I don't have it in me right this second, but I do appreciate your candor, and you have taught me many, many things. Thank you.
No problem, I say, as I'm like on one leg and one leg is like back, and I like my back to leg is like this while one leg is down. You know what I mean? And I'm just like perfectly in balance, just looking right at you with like my arms out.
Oh man. Well, this
Spitting
guy,
scene out. Moving to either Aberrat or Finestorm. Anything from you two while they're having some yoga time.
Ah, yes.
Brett's gonna just watch the people coming back onto the ship and all the antics while just kind of standing at that spot at the front of the boat.
Okay. Nothing too special going on. You still haven't seen any sign of Tontor, Kandros, Gorm, Etanis, or Sabre. Anything from you, Finestorm?
I am staying in this location. I was brought onto a ship without authorization from the captain. I'm hiding, but I'm listening,
Yeah.
identifying people, and trying to keep track of the party to their sound, what they're saying. Mainly listening for Prologue.
Okay. While you listen, Prologue, towards the start of the morning time, you are shaken awake by Derek, who leans forward. Good you're awake. Tried earlier on, but I think the potion I gave you still had some effect. That's fine. She needed her sleep. Spells like that can be taxing. Admiral's ready to see you. She's got your gold.
Excellent. Lead the way.
He walks you upstairs, leads you past all the crew who are busying themselves. Looks like they are getting ready to set sail. Eventually you're brought into the Admiral's quarters, and she's standing there over a couple of sacks of coin, and then a familiar bag. It looks to be Praspidus' old bag of holding. She looks up and says, "Well, that was a better meeting than I thought it could have been. Turns out King Lemrod can actually hold his tongue."
An unlikely outcome, I agree.
Well, either way, we are sending a smaller vessel to deliver Praspidus' body. Part of my crew is segmenting off, and we are hiring a different crew here that we know to be more trustable to join on. From what the king would like, he would like us to look like we are taking in the people and wanting to be friendly. So whenever you encounter them, do try to be as friendly as possible. Either way, you still get paid. She picks up a sack and was like, this here is 500 platinum for you. Drops it into the bag of holding. Like, and this is 300 for each of your crew. Drops it all in. That is the 1,000 gold plus the extra of advanced pay. Plus a bag of holding. Free gift from mine.
Thank you. Is there anything else?
Anything else? Ooh, let's see. Ah. She reaches aside and... Some reason the crew thinks that they want to help you as well. It's not much, but be grateful. She hands you over a sack of 362 gold.
362?
Yes. Apparently, Derek was so frightened by what Anubis-I said that he went around and tried to do everything he could to assist as much as possible.
Give them my war regards for this gift.
Well, good luck. Have fun. Don't die.
No outcomes are certain. Try I will.
Good. Get off my ship.
Prologue leaves. Goes
Leave
back to the boat directly.
Perfecto. Abrat, you'd see him arrive back on the boat.
I approach him. No, that's about it. I just start following him at that point. Kind of like a shadow.
Prologue gives him a nod. Heads down below to find your Landriel.
Fine Storm, this is when you'd see him heading down below decks. See him going down those stairs, having to duck as he's a very large creature in a smaller boat. Followed closely by Abrat.
Follow them.
It's just... like, I love that imagery, just without having to say anything. Good job, Prologue.
Got 2 puppy dogs.
You head to the sequestered room that you have and go in to witness the Satyr and Sojatis and Yolandriel doing yoga. Towards the ends, you're familiar with this sequence. You can tell that Yolandriel's finishing up.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent.
Oh, well, Jartis would probably be sitting on the bed just going... a little tired from the activities.
I've spoken to the king. I've spoken to many kings.
And how'd that go?
The goal has changed. The mission has changed. Now, the only mission is to find the trees. And
Try not to die.
that is assumed.
Try not to die.
And then bring a corrupted heart and an uncorrupted heart to the king so they can research a fix to the issue.
With that in mind, Abrat would know that the object that was given to your Landriel was actually that stone. And that stone was actually pretty unique.
Yeah.
So, okay. Abrat then at this point is going to kind of squint and go. Think into his mind, do the trees have hearts to speak of that one could collect, essentially?
If anything, the heart, well, you would understand the heart of the tree to be would be that stone.
but that was unique to that tree specific. So,
From your understanding.
well, there's still much to learn. All right.
So that is the only. Yolandria, did you find anything?
Well, I messaged our mutual dragonborn friend, and either
He is not my
dead,
friend.
incapacitated, or I completely brush over that.
You are
I
far
say-
away from the mic, sir.
Oh, no, it's because I moved it like 2 seconds ago, and now okay. I'm gonna say, well, our dragonborn friend is either incapacitated, dead, or doesn't wish to speak with us. So I'll try again this afternoon, but we should still leave as soon as possible.
I agree.
About this
But the
place.
question is where to find a tree.
There's none on this island.
Yes.
Then our only source is that guy.
Jartis.
Yeah, Prologue will then. Oh, go ahead.
Jartis, give me a history check.
Let's see. Nat 20 plus 2?
What is up with you and the nat 20s
Yay.
today? Beautiful. Okay. You, with your familiarity with people and going around and talking to people frequently and constantly, you hear stories. Some of the stories you've heard are about the islands around in particular, and some of the mainland, a little of the mainland. You know there to be rumors of a few unique types of trees around. Starting in the area around you, some people say that the living forest to the east has a tree that not only has a face, but walks and talks, and is angry and tries to kill everyone that comes near it. You know, on the mainland itself, there's rumored to be a golden flamed tree inside Phoenix Mountain, but you also believe that to be a myth. More of an old wives' tale told to people, not necessarily true. And lastly, you know the Tree of Pi. The very large tree in the center of the city, center of the city Pi, towards the western coast of Recloria. Phoenix Mountains in the southeast of Lebon.
So if I, say for instance, cast locate animals or plants, is there anything within 5 miles that would be worth doing, or should we try and historically head to some of these historic areas and then do that? What do you
Well,
guys think?
the whole... Do you say that in character?
Yeah, in character.
Yes, I will consult the group, as I'll say, based on such, what shall we do? I know of such things, and with the 2 druids, I think we have a fighting chance at doing this.
Actually, Jarvis, we have a slight step up on that. How far can I feel the trees, by the way?
Maybe a couple of miles.
A couple of miles. So, if we get close enough to one of these trees, I will be able to tell that we're there. So we won't have to worry too much about trying to locate them at that point. We just need to know where they are so that we can get close.
Prologue says, Jartis, I believe I already spoke to you about the insults of those words. Do not use them with me again. As for the information, that is excellent. We will leave for the living forest immediately.
Jartis is mildly confused, but chooses to go along with it for the sake of the group cohesion.
I like lean over to him and I say, "You can't say we around him. You have to directly speak with him, and then the rest of us understand what's going on. So we'll just glean the information off of that. Just at all times, just act like you're talking to him. We'll know what you're talking about." I don't try and whisper any of this, by the way. It's like lightly under my breath, but it's not like a full.
So
Jartis knows enough to roll with it.
after saying that, Prologue will signal to Finestorm and say,
He'll come up and kneel.
I will need to introduce you to the captain. And then he turns to Jartis, who's getting explained to, and say, Jartis, I must introduce you to the captain as well. Follow. And then Prologue leaves to go find Sabrea.
Before you leave, Abrat, having witnessed and watched the people coming aboard, you know that Captain Sabre is not aboard.
How long have we been down? Only like what? A couple of minutes?
Probably about 10,
Down
15.
the hole. 10, 15, sorry. Prologue. As a note, we've only been down here for about 10, 15 minutes, so she could have arrived, but before you had arrived, Sabre has not yet shown up.
Aberrat, you go to the... What do you call it? The place where you get on the boat.
Gangway.
The gangway, and when
Embark.
she arrives, come and get me.
Yes. And Abrat will leave the room.
And then Prologue, remembering, will turn back to Yolandriel and say, I had forgotten. You have been paid. And Prologue takes out a bag of 300 platinum and gives it to Yolandriel.
Okay, I grab it and I go, open it up and I go, Jesus. I don't say Jesus, I say Eshnar. Is this for me? For the rest of us?
That is for you and to supply yourself as well.
Tie that sack away. Yeah. I look at Prologue. I say, is there anything else we need to do in the city before we leave?
You, at this point, almost simultaneously, each of you get a message. So, Prologue, you first. You get a message from Derek saying, Derek Durden for Prologue. One last communication. That's your only pay. If you want any other gold, find a job and get it. Yolandriel, you hear... Sabras wants me to tell you to come to the top when you have time. He was busy when you reached out before. Dania here, if you can't tell.
Okay. Do I know what she means by the top?
Give me a history check.
Ah, Christ.
Peter knows what she means.
It's well in Yolandriel's character to have accidentally not paid attention to the communication of this factoid.
15.
15. You barely remember that the top is the top of the inside of the mountain. You also remember that there are a few good shops potentially up there too.
Okay. I'm going to look at Prologue and notice the glazed over look in his eyes, which is more glazed over than usual. And I'm going to wait until he comes back from his message, and I'm going to say, "You first. What did you hear?"
Nothing of consequence. This is future pay. We will not be paid again.
Okay. I nod my head and I say, "That Dragonborn," and then I repeat his name that I in real life have already forgotten. And I say, he wants us to meet. I don't know if he just wants me, but I don't know if I feel safe going alone. So
Yes.
I'm going to
Yes.
be at the top inside the mountain.
Did he say why he could not talk to you?
Something
as you
about
spoke
being
to him?
something about being busy. So we should probably go together on
Was
this.
there a time limit?
Tonight, he said, right?
No,
Or this
I mean a
afternoon?
time limit to the spell you used to speak to him.
Yep. Oh, there's that stutter in character, and I go, "But do you mean the one I tried earlier, or the one he just used?"
The one you tried earlier.
Yeah, there's a time limit on that.
Oh. I didn't give either of you the chance to reply. Prologue, do you reply to Derek?
No.
No, that's what I thought. That's why. Sorry, Elandriel. Do you reply to Dania?
Did he specify what time? Forget.
She did not specify what time. No.
I'm gonna
She
say.
said, "When you have the time, come to the top."
Yep, time. That's right. I'm gonna say. Shoot. Okay. Prologue and I will meet you up there. We'll come as soon as we can. And then I relay that information to Bro.
Very well.
Listen, you're a acolyte here, and I look at the tabaxi, whose name is still slipping me, Finestorm, and I say he's pretty good at stealth, so
Yes.
perhaps he should come with us for just in case. But I'd feel better if the druids were together and safe on the ship, because
I
something happens to
concur
us.
and was thinking the same. Jardis, follow, and Prologue heads up to the top to find Apparat.
Okay.
Look at Finestorm. Oh, go ahead. You first.
So upon finding Apparat, Prologue will say,
Jartis, did you follow him first off?
yeah, good question.
Jartis?
Jartis?
That's you?
Yeah.
Yeah, he said, Jartis, follow me. Do you actually follow him or not?
Sure. Yes, Your Honor. I would love to follow you. It is my highest pleasure and duty in life to do so.
Prologue finds Apparat, I assume by the gangplank, and
Watching.
says, Apparat, watch over Jartis. When Captain Sabrea arrives, please introduce them and explain the situation. Yolandriel and I go to the top of the mountain. Return as swiftly as possible.
All right. Good luck.
Prologue turns around looking for Yolandriel.
Smash cut to while that conversation was happening. I look at Finestorm and I say, I'm sure you have some sort of like debt or whatever to protect him, so I hope you can extend the favor over to me in case something happens.
Eulandriel, there is another message in your head. Right, so I told him that. He wants to meet the fungus.
No. Okay, I'm gonna like stand there. And then I'm gonna say out loud, all right, I guess the plan has changed. I think we're all going. Come on, let's go. To find Storm. Not even waiting for him to reply to my first thing. I just head up. And I explained to Prologue the message that I just received.
Prologue looks perturbed that Eulandriel didn't read his mind in the first place and come with. And then says, did Findstorm come with or no?
Did you?
With Leandro.
He did?
Yeah, with Leo.
Okay, great.
Leandro.
I do not think so. The Dragonborn
What was that?
is not well known to me. We will go as planned. The Druids will remain.
I'm just gonna kind of be like, are you sure?
Yes.
Okay, I'm just gonna be like, all right, Prologue. And then I'm just gonna kind of like look over at Aberrat and God, I've got to learn your name. Sorry, Jardis, and 2 new character names in one episode. And I am going to send a message using sending, which may not turn out well because that is a third level spell slot. And I am going to tell Aberrat. All right,
Aberrat?
you guys have to follow it. Yeah, I look at Aberrat and then
okay.
yeah, and I say, this guy wants to meet you. Prologue doesn't want you to come. You and the other Druid follow us, but stay behind. Prologue's not going to be happy with me, but
To clarify, you're casting the spell message.
sending.
Sending, okay. Message is a different spell. Sending is okay. Good clarification.
So to be clear, you did not say this out loud.
It is not said out loud. It's not even
Okay.
spoken. It is sent via head.
Okay.
Aberrat is the only one to hear or have any sense.
On that note, how much do I know about this Dragonborn thing?
You know Jack Diddley. What you
Okay,
know
that makes
about him is what you've heard about him during this time.
Yeah, which is not much.
No.
All right, cool. My response is going to be just a look right at Eulandriel. Quirky little eyebrow rise, cock of the head, and then that's it.
Okay, I'm going to say to myself, oh God, kind of group am I with right now? And then
Prologue heads out.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch Prologue as he leaves and be like, just
With
like
me in tow.
mumbling to myself.
Puppy number 1 follows.
Find Storm close behind.
Yeah, we head out, and I really hope Aberrat understood what my message meant, and
Okay.
that both of them will be following in behind us.
As they head out, Aberrat, Jartus, what do you do?
I'm going to stay by the gangplank. I'm going to wait until they're all the way out there, and then I'm going to turn to Jartus and I'm going to say, Jartus, from what you've been able to gather of Prologue as an individual, if we were to not follow his orders, how do you feel he would respond?
Based on input received thus far, I know he would not be happy with that at all.
Yes, yes. I have been trying, not fully succeeding yet, but trying to follow his creed. Simply because I don't have much to go off of at the moment, and I think we're going to be staying put. Let's wait for Sabre to return so that I might introduce you to her.
So,
Okay.
for the sake of brevity, Prologue, when you get to the first entrance to the mountains, you are not permitted to enter. The guards at the front block your entrance and look at all of you. You're not new. You're not known here. We don't have any orders to let your kind through. You need clearance before you can make it through to the first inside of the mountain itself. If you were traveling with someone that we know, we'd be able to let you in without having word, but sorry, you're sequestered out here.
I have been asked to the top of the mountain.
Allowed to clear it. Might take a little while for the runner to get up there. If we're willing to wait.
Prologue turns to Yolandriel and says, "Why are we waiting? Why am I waiting?"
I'm like this to you.
Prologue turns to the guard and says, "I will wait."
About an hour goes by. And finally the runner comes back down, hands over a note and... Yeah, they're not letting you through until you have, the fungus? I don't know. I said there's 3 of you waiting here for passage, and they said that's not enough.
Point
Very
of
well.
information. He doesn't know about me, so 3 would be enough.
However, none of you are clearly funguses.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Very well. Prologue goes back to the boat.
I'm just standing there in front of the gate. Just like
Follow.
looking at the guards. Just like...
Prologue signals for Yolandriel to join.
I'm just gonna say, no, I'd rather not walk back and forth all day. I'll stand right here, bro.
Prologue goes back to Yolandriel, puts a hand on his shoulder, and says, "It's time to walk."
Okay, I'm gonna look directly at Prologue and say, I'm not the one in the group that fears you, Prologue.
What does fear have to do with anything? This is command.
Yeah, and the way I see it, still a person, Prologue, and our plan is still the same.
Prologue looks at the guards and does his best to whisper and says, "The plan is no longer the same. I am leaving this island."
Okay, then I just go, all right, see you gentlemen later, I say to the guards. And
Do you want me to roll stealth?
Please, yes.
Getting some.
A 7.
Okay.
Yeah, on the way back, I just
Fine
use
storm.
my...
That runner
The
who came
guards
down...
overheard. Yeah.
The runner that came down is now running back into the mountain.
They overheard that. Okay. I don't think Prologue cares, so. Not gonna matter.
So go back to the boat. And did the captain arrive whilst we were gone? Still not arrived. Okay. Is Tantor there?
No.
There either. Okay. Well, in that case, upon arriving back at the boat, Prologue will practice his dance on the top deck.
Okay. After a few hours, Prologue, this time you get a message from Dania. I never expected someone to be so rude and crass towards someone that should be polite towards. You're not building a good reputation for your nation, Prologue. Sabdras is not pleased. Followed fairly closely by another message from Derek saying, "Why are we getting notifications that you refused a meeting with Sabdras?"
I respond to the second with, I did not refuse a meeting. I attempted to go to a meeting. I was not permitted.
Okay.
Hey, I'm going to use my last level 3 spell slot, because what could go wrong with that? To message Captain Sabrea. And just very quickly, hey, it's your laundreel. What's going on? Haven't heard from you in quite some time. Just checking in. Please get a hold of me as soon as possible. 24.
Okay. You get a fairly prompt response. Eulandriel. Sorry, nursing hangover. Just at Death's. He's got fancy new toys. You should visit.
Okay, I'm just kind of nodding my head like, cool. And then I like lay back in my bunk and just wait for the plan.
Eventually, Prologue, while you're dancing on the top deck. Fine Storm, if you're up there, same with Aberrat. You would both see this before Prologue does. The tabaxi you've seen, Fine Storm, coming up on the portway, followed closely by Derek Duradin, who's hurried, walking behind. She comes up the gangway, looks at you, and is like, "Yes, all right. So, Prologue, would you mind having a conversation, please?" And she starts walking towards the captain's quarters.
Prologue goes with.
Enters in. And she stops right by the door, looks at you, Fine Storm, before you can enter in, and says, "No," and shuts the door.
I will climb around on the outside and listen in the window. Claws on the wood.
While you're climbing up, Derek yells out, "I wouldn't do that if I were you. She's already pissed as it is." When you're in there...
Back down.
Okay, you come back down.
Yep.
The Admiral takes the head point of the map table inside. You can still hear the sounds of the crowd on the outside and the port areas, port buildings. She looks at you and... When someone of superior kind asks something of us who are far lesser, we must say yes right away, especially if we are trying to be diplomatic with them. Going up and saying, no, 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 your terms do not fit mine, is rude. If you have questions like that in the future and you do not want to fulfill it, please notify us first. Let us do the diplomacy behind it so we can tackle things quickly. I understand, Prologue, you are not very understanding of diplomatic ways. You're a mercenary. We point you and you go and you do things. So I'm not holding it entirely against you, but I am very displeased because this is going to make my job so much harder.
I know very little of this dragon. But because I saw that it was necessary for the mission, I agreed to meet on their terms in a place I had never been. But to put the extent of my team in danger for what I saw was no gain, seemed foolhardy.
Danger. What do you mean by danger? What part of that was dangerous? You are meeting with the leader of the Shallos. Is he dangerous? Should I be worried?
I imagine he is very dangerous, but I do not know him, nor the place that we were going to meet him. It seemed an unnecessary risk.
Prologue, I do not know the king or the place I will be meeting him. And yet, for my duty, I must take that necessary risk. It is part of being part of something bigger than just ourselves. We are serving a purpose. And for yourself and myself, we are the forward heads of this purpose. It means we must do things we are not comfortable with.
Which is why I went.
You went, yes, but not under their terms like you claimed. They asked for something specific, you refused. I understand your meaning, and I would have made the same decision 30 years ago, when I had my first command.
Is it your will that we all go then?
If it were my will, you wouldn't have to. However, I have not been able to gain audience with him yet. If he is giving it to you, even if there is some risk behind it, perhaps we can learn something.
From our deaths?
Very well. Anything else?
Yes, if you meet this Danya, you can give her this. She hands you a piece of paper. The way she got in contact with us was not fun. Begins to walk out of the captain's quarters. I know it is not fun being told what to do, Prologue, but you accepted the commission. Sometimes it is necessary. Even I don't like that.
Yes, sir. Prologue will go back up to topside.
Captain's quarters is topside. It's
Oh,
right
it's
below
topside?
the
Okay,
upper deck.
Well, then go to where the gangplank is, and I assume... Oh, did you want her to go down to his bunk? Did you say that?
You did say in your bunk, yeah.
Okay. Then Prologue will go down to Yolandaril's bunk and say, I have been commanded to take the whole party to the top of the mountain.
Okay, I say, and I like get up out of bed. I was like laying like this. So I get up, grab my stuff, get out.
And then Prologue goes back and grabs each of the party members and goes back to the mountain.
As everyone accompany. Fine Storm,
Yeah.
that whole time you were being stared down by Derek, who was just keeping a close eye on you.
I don't want to say statue mode because that was Anubisai, but you know what I mean. I don't
Yeah.
give him anything.
Jartis?
I am. I'm gonna roll with it. I'm going along. Let's do this mountainous expedition. But what I say in reality, to dear Prologue, who I shall never disrespect again, Sir, I go where thou shalt lead. The path that I follow is beset by your feet.
Excellent choice.
Worshippers. I like this.
Eventually make your way back up. It's getting closer to midday, little after at this point. Get to the gate, and while you're walking up, without acknowledging you, Prologue, the guard sees Jartis and goes, "Oh, hey, Jartis. It's good to see you. How's your morning been?"
Jovial as always. What say ye on this fine day?
It's pretty good. Couple people trying to get past that don't have permission, but that's right. These fine people that you just walked up with, they
go
were
like
one of
this.
them.
I'm like scratching my eye like that as he like motions towards us, and I'm just like,
Can I do a check to kind of glaze that over with our guard friend here and
You guys, so you're
allow
in
him to see
your-
our group
Your
positively?
passive insight check is going to be good enough. Everyone's passive insight check is going to be good enough to tell that he has no idea, doesn't even see it. I rolled a perception for him and I got a natty 1, so no idea that's happening.
Okay, so this is like a nice comedy relief moment for everybody. I'm gonna try and so aside, is this guard privy to what is happening with our group in this mountain expedition?
Not necessarily. You know runners are sent between each individual level of the mountain, and that they deliver messages, but to the detail of those messages, you don't know.
Would I attempt... Would it be appropriate to attempt to deceive him as to our true intentions, but not so heavily that it's suspicious? Maybe.
So, for your own reputation, you know you can bring guests up to at least the 13th level. So you can get them inside by just your reputation. Just getting higher up, you'll have to
Gonna be the
rely
issue.
on the guards knowing.
Okay. Well, I just say that we're on a expedition of benign knowledge, sir. I happened to come upon this group, and our priorities align in many wondrous ways. So we are traveling together today.
Alright, that's all we needed to know, that they're with you. Remember, to the 13th floor, you'll need special permissions to take them higher.
Do we all need to carry permissions, or am I the only one who needs to?
Well, you're the only one who needs special permissions. You know who to get those from. You do know who to get those from. One of them would be Jeth. He could give you special permission to bring them to the 3rd floor. And if you need them to come down to the gate and meet you or send some kind, just let me know and I'll send a runner. Know how it works.
Okay. Well, thanks for your time. You look lovely today, by the way.
Oh,
We're
thanks.
going to...
Extra time combing the hair today.
We're going to be stopping and seeing our friend Jeth. Did you need anything dropped off or delivered?
I heard he got a new delivery in. Let me know if he's got one of those boxes again.
Side quest. Okay. All right, let's do it. I will do such for you, sir.
You
Thank
get
you.
that Skyrim like chun chun. So
All right, let
do
them
that.
by. And the guards let you in. The inside of the mountain is very deceiving. At first, when you start walking through, it's tunnel-like. It makes you think you're going to be going through all these narrow pathways and narrow tunnels, but then it opens up to a vast cavern on the inside that goes all the way up the walls, almost as if this mountain has been strategically hollowed out through time to just travel upwards along the cliff sides. You see that the path, it is indeed spiral. It does spiral upwards more and more, and there are roughly at least 27 rings to this spiral, ending at the top. When you look up, there are rocks in the middle of the place, suspended by large chains going and connecting into the area. These rocks have a soft glow to them. Oh. We lost somebody. Oh no!
Oh, I apologize. I did not know that was going to do that. I'll put it back.
Yeah, that throws everything off. Oh no!
oh no.
Oh no. Something permanent's happened now. Right, yeah, changing the name. Halfway through, changes, we'll solve that
Sorry.
afterwards. You're good.
Yep.
You're good.
Okay, back
Trying
to
to figure out what
normal.
happened there. These large rocks give off this soft glow. There are roughly six of them, hanging inside the air. The top one being very large in size. There are people running throughout the building, the inside of the mountain, going about their business. Seems to be a small lake in the center of the open space with other buildings built throughout. For the most part, from what you see, these buildings aren't constructed, more carved out, and left big blocks of stone left to be carved into actual buildings during the clearing of this mountain. The path climbing upwards is long. However, with the mentioning and the pleasant commentary and conversation that you had, Jartis, with the guard, he did send a runner up to Jeth to have someone or some kind of permissions if needed, or if Jeth was willing to be sent to the 13th level. So by the time you get there, there is indeed a permission waiting.
Nice. Kindness pays, folks. Let that be the moral lesson. I take that in stride and continue our little expedition towards Jeth. Is there anything on the way there?
You eventually run into Captain Sabre, who's traveling down with Tontor and Kandros. Catches you probably around the 7th level and says, Oh, you fancying a jaunt up, are you? It's quite a climb. You might be a little sore in the morning from it.
Ma'am, I woke up sore today.
I don't want to know why. Prologue? How are things?
They are. As soon as I return, both will need to leave. Is that possible?
I can see what I can do to spur my men a little harder. See if they can finish the resupply early. But again, we might not even be resupplied yet. We might need more than 24 hours.
Yes.
We were completely out of stocks.
Yes.
And from what I got from Itanis, he's found some new toys, as he's put it.
Very good. Yes. One can only work within the realm of possibility. Do what you can.
We will. Good luck with whatever you're doing in your day.
And to you. Prologue continues.
Tonto just nods at you all. Stops you, Prologue, for a second and like, lots of fun stuff here.
I hope to see it. Time is pressing.
Mission first. Pleasures
Yes.
later.
Always.
Carries on through. I almost said a name beside. Wow. Find Storm and Aberrat. During your climb up, you do notice that there are another two people following you. However, for the entire time, they are keeping a very clear distance from you. Just observing. From your insights, you don't get any sense of danger from it. More of a, you are being observed. You're being watched.
I'll still pass that to Prologue.
Can I tell what sort of individuals they are? If I look back.
If you look back, give me a... I said sleight of hand for Fine Storm Millie, so give me a sleight of hand, Prologue. From the information passing, you would have a general idea of where they are. It's more of a trying to disguise... If you'd like to try to disguise whether or not you're keeping hidden that you know they're there.
No, I would much rather use more effort to see them and what they look like.
Okay, then give me a perception check.
That's a 3.
That's a 3. Even with advantage, actually, because Finestorm did assist in the informing you of the information.
7.
Ouch.
Do you see crowds of people walking through the levels? Each one of these people, the higher up you get, these people are getting finer and finer equipment.
Very good. So I will whisper to Finestorm. Keep an eye on them. Stop them if they attempt to approach us.
Will do, Your Holiness.
Prologue's going to continue.
It's soon after he says that when Aberrat and Finestorm, you take a look again to see if they're there, that they're not. They moved away.
I'll watch for more patterns
Okay.
of being followed, even by new people.
The permission for traveling up Jartis, you would know, ends at the third level. If you're trying to get to the second, your permission you got wouldn't get you there. So, when you get to the third level, what are you all doing?
Attempting to go to the second level. Is there a gate for that or guards?
There is.
I'll approach the gate guard person's place, and say, I have a meeting with Sabdras.
This guard looks much more equipped. Much more heavily equipped. He looks you up and down. I'll see if he's good for you. If he is, we'll have a runner come back down and we'll escort you up there.
Very well.
Takes a step back. Your surroundings, you've got about a 20-foot pathway. On your left-hand side, there are buildings carved out of the stone wall itself. And on the right-hand side, eventually, a very sparsely railed drop to the center of the cavern itself. At this point in your spiral up, you are looking over an empty drop. There is no catching any floors underneath should someone drop. But it is a far way down. A couple of 100 feet at this point.
I think Prologue grew up on mountains.
Maybe a little sense of vertigo if you didn't.
You're waiting for this guard guy to come back.
Waiting for the guard? Okay.
There is no natural light in here, right?
There is no natural light, but the rocks that are not floating but being suspended throughout give off enough light to light up the entire cavern.
But at this level, the angle to those rocks should still be casting shadows.
You're being completely lit with the areas where they are. It is casting an inward lighting.
Okay.
As you wait, eventually runner comes down again. The guard turns and follow us, don't deviate. Yeah.
Prologue follows. He does not deviate.
Goes in.
I give a yawn, both in real life and in character. I just go, as they say that.
Does everyone follow?
Yes.
Yeah.
You were led up. Very direct path. The people, at this point, the people you're passing, they look more noble in stature. Their clothes are fine. A few of them look like they haven't worked a day in very, very many years. Getting a little bit more round and rotund. Drinking up their gold, essentially, with wines and such. But eventually are led to the top area platform, where there is a thin wooden bridge leading onto this large rock that is completely suspended by very large chains. Over it is a simple dome that has been carved from the obsidian rock. Pacing by the entrance in front of two heavily armored guards now is Danya. She looks over, sees you all, as you're escorted finally getting to the end of the bridge, those guards departing and going back to their station. She looks at you all and is like, you know, I've never actually known someone to do something like that. Not even in Iridai has someone done something like that. Do you know any sense of diplomatic sense, Prologue? Were you trained in any of that? Or were you
To
just...
that, I audibly laugh. I go,
Prologue takes out the note in response and gives it to her.
She takes it and goes... All right. Must be a Quailin thing.
I
Pockets
think
the
it's
note.
just a Prologue thing. So,
She looks at you, gives you an eyebrow, kind of shakes her hand that has the tears of the piece of paper and says, "Oh no, Quailin thing." And then pockets the papers. And he's waiting. I stick by what I said. I'm a little worried. But I think it should be fine. It should be fine. It'll be fine.
yeah, I
It'll be fine.
just start laughing at that. I'm just like, oh yeah, this is gonna be fun. All right, I say, and I look at everybody. We good?
I guess.
I look at Prologue. Prologue,
She
Yes.
ready?
Born it.
After you.
Prologue follows.
From behind Prologue, Wisp pokes his head out and says, "Should I be here?"
I go, Jesus Christ! I go,
We're gonna end a little early there for the night,
That's funny.
with you all walking towards the Obsidian Dome, going into what you understand to be a meeting with the head of the Shallos estate, Sabdras.
Are you
Ah,
trying to say
I love how Wisp was just.
he
right
just
there,
showed up and I didn't even notice him?
no, I was just doing that. But he's not
Okay.
actually. He's not there. I just thought it'd be funny. So.
Yeah. I was like, what?
But, oh my goodness, of all the ways you all could have gotten through easily, you left both of them behind. It's like, yeah, Jartis could get you through just by reputation. All you had to do was have him there. But no, you told him to stay behind. So that was interesting. Lots of
I tried.
deviations.
I tried. I did my best, but clearly wrong person to talk to in that situation.
I definitely
Oh,
like
goodness.
how your Landrill, you're like, disobey Prologue, and this
Yeah,
whole time
100%.
Abrat's like, I have been spending this whole time obeying Prologue. Why would I disobey?
Why would I do that?
Listen to your Laundrill's gut. He may be an idiot, but he's right sometimes.
We wouldn't have made it far because I eventually would have saw them following and I would have told Prologue.
That is true, actually.
Prologue.
Passive
Either way, though.
perception. Either way.
Either way.
Thank
I
you,
feel like-
everyone, for joining us. What a fun little RP time. We'll see what happens next time. Try to get through more than a day at a time with these people, and they just...
Slow
you
it right
never know.
down.
They slow it right down.
We love the RPing. We just love it.
It's good stuff, though. I enjoy all of it. We will see you all on Tuesday for Into the Nightmare. Yep, that's it. Into the Nightmare. But for this week, thank you so much, Ben, for joining us and bringing Aberrat to the table. So welcome, Ben.
It's not
Moving
Aberrat.
forward. It's not Aberrat, you're right. Bringing Jartis.
I have shapeshifted.
Pretending to be a
Fungus has
fungus.
become among us.
Oh, with that dad joke,
Alas,
folks.
with that dad joke, running a little early, so we will all running a little early. We will see you all next Sunday. I cannot wait. Love you all. Bye.
Bye.
The air may have closed for now. We hope you met a friend this go around. Tired and blurry you may be. We hope your minds are full from this revelry. May peace follow you out. May you return for more giggles and shouts.